Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. It is not quite the middle of the night, but it's late. It's past 11 o'clock here, late October. It's cold, but I am nothing if not a trooper. I don't know if you can hear that humming or see. This is my friend, my ghost friend here, because I want to make a point about the stupid video I'm about to do and something very serendipitous that happened. Now, hopefully the humming of this ghost won't overtake the video. In fact, I may have to remove him over a little bit because, this is all about me. Maybe I'll just do this. Ooh, that's weird lighting. How about that? Okay, so, as you guys know, sorry, guy, you gotta move. There you go. Still love you. So, as most of you know who know me, you know that I'm not a big believer in anything that doesn't have super good proof of it, like ghosts, the occult, government promises, any kind of deity, and, UFOs. I don't believe in any of that stuff. So, what am I getting at? Despite not believing in all that stuff, I often do believe that the universe hands you stuff. I mentioned this a few videos ago when I talked about Alec Baldwin. I'd run out of material, and Alec Baldwin shot a couple people by mistake. That case is still going on, and people are questioning, and I'm staying out of it because I really have nothing to do with it. It doesn't really affect my life in any way except to give me a little material, as it did a few days ago. Now, so having that mindset, check this out. Okay, this is so crazy. So tonight, I was watching, what shall we call it, an adult movie, okay? Now, like most people who watch adult movies these days, I get mine for free online, and I was watching said movie, and it was an amateur couple, and they had filmed themselves doing what they were doing, and in the background, they had left the TV on as to what they were watching. And what they were watching is one of my favorite bits by one of my favorite comics ever. It's so serendipitous because we're going to see this guy on December 3rd. We were supposed to see him last summer, Logan and I. And his name is Mike Birbiglia. And if you haven't, let me say that nice and clearly, Mike Birbiglia. And if you haven't heard of the guy, he's about 10 years younger than me. I think he's around 44, 45 years old. And he's a wonderful writer, great writer, and a really funny guy, and very understated. He's almost more of a humorist than a stand-up comic, in my opinion. He's written movies, and he has several specials on Netflix. This special that this bit was on is called Thank God for Jokes. And you got, so that even kind of falls into my whole being an atheist thing and what I mentioned at the top of this video, called Thank God for Jokes. He talks about doing jokes in churches, and one of the bits he does was the bit that I heard as I watched this couple make passionate love for my pleasure for free. The joke is about the Muppets, and apparently he was on the Muppet Show, not back in the 70s, but they were doing like a tour or something, I guess, and he got on there, and he he goes up and he starts to get into his routine, and he forgot his stool because he had been pre-heckled by Stadler and Waldorf, the couple. I call it a couple because he calls them the gay couple that are in the balcony. He goes, if they're not gay, I don't see how, because they go to the theater every night and complain about everything. They've got to be a gay couple. But it's a great bit, but it's like, I think, 3 to 5 minutes long. Here's the other really serendipitous part about this, is Logan made an animatic to that bit, because it's one of Logan's favorite bits as well. So Logan made an animatic to this thing that I saw on a naughty movie today, and I just find that amazing and hilarious. And then we're going to see the guy in about 5 weeks, so that's pretty crazy. I don't know, maybe I need to end this video at 5 minutes, but maybe I'll just continue talking, since the last video I did was about comedians doing things that I'm not going to quite say are unsavory. They are to me, just like I say, when people will do any ad of any type for X amount of dollars. I don't consider myself an artist, but I think there is a certain amount of money where you can just go, okay, I'm not going to do that because I don't think it's good. For example, I'm not talking about Amy Schumer like I did in the. Amy Schumer can sell tampons, that's fine, but I am disappointed in Patton Oswalt for selling a betting app. It really is a disappointment to me because the guy is great. He's a great dude, but maybe he had to pay for daughter's college. I don't know. So, I want to talk about comics some more, and not necessarily unsavory stuff, because I think I've talked about that in the past and what some have done. I mean, we all know about the Bill Cosbys and the Louis C.K.'s of the world, but I do want to talk about just comics and comedy. And I know I've also talked about why I got into it in my comedy Mount Rushmore, but there's more to it than that, and there's some wonderful comics that I've seen in my life that a lot of people don't know. Like I said, I'm about to see Mike Birbiglia on December 3rd, so I'm excited about that. I've seen Bobcat Goldthwait. I got spit on by him inadvertently. I don't know if I've mentioned that in the past. Me and my brother saw him at Comedy Works about 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. It was a while back, and we were in the front row, and he's talking loudly, so spit's flying out. We're getting hit by it, and he's still hilarious. He doesn't do the whole stuff anymore, but he jokes about that stuff and what people think he is, and he's great. He's still a great comic and a great writer. I think of, like I mentioned in the last video, I saw Amy Schumer and David Tell. I've seen David Tell 3 times. I've seen Kyle Kinane 3 times. And I know that this sounds like one of those old guys who's going to brag about the concerts he's been to, and I guess that is my version of that. But Kyle Kinane's great. And this also, hopefully, you guys can check out these people if you haven't heard of them. Who else? Chad Daniels. You don't get to see this guy. Or if you do have an opportunity, take your shot. He's around my age, and quality-wise, I'd put him right up there with all the other guys I love that are around my age. And I've mentioned those guys before: Patton Oswalt, Doug Stanhope, Louis C.K., Bill Burr, all those great guys. Chad Daniels is every bit as funny as them. He's just not as well known. Funny guy. So if you get a chance at your local comedy club to see Chad Daniels, go see him. I saw him a couple years ago, and he was amazing. And that's kind of the cool thing when you know some local people. So he was at Comedy Works, and there are 2 Comedy Works here. There's a South Club, which is really nice, almost too nice to be a comedy club for most comics. It's got chandeliers, it's got high ceilings, and it's beautiful in there. Most comics are used to doing open mics for a long time before they get really good, and so the downtown Comedy Works is more most comics' speed. They call it the Dungeon. It's dark down there. It's literally in a basement, and it's like granite gray stone along the walls, and the ceilings are maybe 8 feet high, and it's claustrophobic in there in a sense. They pack 300 people in there, and it's a great venue. So yeah, I love going there when I can, but I don't know why I went that way with this, but I think I've seen some great shows in there. Oh, but what I was getting to is I actually know guys that have opened for national acts, like a guy named Alan Bromwell, really good writer, really good performer here in Denver. I got to watch him open for Chad Daniels a couple years ago. People that I consider contemporaries, not necessarily friends, because most of the people are much younger than me that got started at this. I started 12 years ago when I was 41. Most of them who started 12 years ago were probably more like 21. So they're 20 years younger than me, which is fine. But it is kind of cool seeing people that you kind of sort of knew or watched and got on the mic on an open mic after them. That's a lot of fun. Like Ben Roy, Andrew Orvidal, and Adam Caton Holland are all 3 really great writers and great comics, and they wrote a show called Those Who Can't, and it's about teachers in a high school, and it's really funny stuff. I think it only made it 2 or 3 seasons, but that's a big deal. When a Denver guy goes and does something amazing on the coast, whether it's New York or LA, in our case usually LA. I don't know if it's because we're closer or if because there are more filming opportunities in LA than in New York, but a lot of those guys go there. So those 3 guys, they used to call themselves it was Wrist Deep originally, and now they call themselves the Growlix, which is a weird name, but that was their writing group, and they hit, and they had a successful show for a couple seasons. Who else was I thinking? Oh, T.J. Miller, huge name, right? T.J. Miller plays the bartender in the Deadpool films. He does tons of voiceovers, and he was big here. He was leaving right as I was getting started, and there's a lot of guys that have just done amazing stuff, and maybe one of these days sometimes I feel like I'm one of those guys that I could open for somebody big. I got to sort of open for Kevin Fitzgerald, but he's not a household name by any means, but in Denver he's kind of legendary. So anyway, I didn't mean to make this all about myself, but I just wanted to tell you some of my comedy tastes and comedians you may not have heard of, and just serendipity through pornography. Very weird night, so, but I had to share it with you. Okay, you guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for checking it out. And thanks for watching. Thanks for everything. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.